I'm Jessie Coffield here with DraftKings contributors Alex Hunter and Kenny Ducey. We're breaking down the available bets for tonight. The Grizzlies taking on the Warriors for the right to earn the final playoff spot in the NBA, going down tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. The Warriors are 5-point favorites here. All right, Golden State has covered the spread 7 games in a row. Keep that in mind. Alex, do you expect them to cover here? And is it kind of just dependent on Steph Curry's production?
I absolutely expect them to cover. This past Sunday, when these two teams battled out for the 8 seed, also a very important game, the Warriors won by 12, and that gave them the series advantage 2-1 for the regular season. And one of those wins came without Steph, and the one loss came without Steph. So the one time that Steph did play against the Grizzlies, they won by 12, and they won 7 of their past 9, and they've won 9 of their past 10 in the Oracle. We know how big of a big deal it is to play in the Oracle. It's one of the best home court advantages in the league, especially during like a playoff scenario like this. And I think the Lakers got lucky the other night beating this Warrior team, that Hail Mary by LeBron. I don't even think the Warriors should be here. And I think their championship pedigree is going to show up tonight. I think they get a comfortable win. The line opened at 3.5, but it's moved to 5, like you said, showing you that the big money and the sharp money is on the Warriors. And I think they absolutely cover. What
do you think, Kenny?
This is a weird line to me. So I was racing to take the Warriors at -3.5, -4. Now it's up to -5. You know what? I probably won't bet this, but if I had to pick a side, I'd actually take the Grizzlies. I do think that this could be a pretty close game. I think getting 5 points is a lot. And in a game where the stakes are this high, you look at how Memphis played Portland last year with the playoff spot on the line. They were up 8 late in that game. I think that the Grizzlies don't get enough respect here. And, I think that we're also inclined to take or just lay the points because think about all the games in the play-in tournament. I mean, aside from that Lakers-Warriors game, which was an absolute firecracker of a game, we didn't see any real close games, any games where you weren't really like comfortable laying the points. I know the Spurs-Grizzlies game was weird because the Spurs came back late, Rudy Gay at that 3, but I think that you would have been pretty fine with just laying the points everywhere else. I think people are expecting another blowout. I don't think that's going to happen here. I think you got 2 really good defenses, which we'll touch on in the next question. And I really do think that the Grizzlies have a fighting chance here. I don't think the Grizzlies win, but they could certainly take us down to the last possession.
Yeah, so the total in this game is set at 221.5. Kenny, are you leaning over or under? When these teams played on Sunday, they totaled 214.
Yeah, Jesse, it's weird again because it's an elimination game. So you immediately look to the under, and that is where I'm looking. But the weird part of it is these two teams are top 10 in pace. So they're top 10 in pace, but they're also top 10 in defense. So that means that there's more chances for things to go wrong if you take the under. But I do think that in a game with the stakes so high, there will be a little bit of a slower pace to this one. I do think that the Warriors, they slowed the pace down against the Lakers. It was grinding to a halt. Both defenses played very solidly, and I think that we see that again here. We've seen the defensive effort waver for both of these teams really down the stretch, but the Warriors had a big lull there where they just weren't really playing much defense at all. But you saw them batten down the hatches come play-in time, and I do think that once again we see a good performance. We know that these two teams can defend, and it's just a matter of bringing out the effort, bringing out the big guns. I do think so, and I also think that the Warriors' offense is due for a little bit of regression here. You had a guy like Andrew Wiggins, just playing lights out. He is good. I still think that he's going to have a good game, but I don't think he's going to give them that much. And when they don't get that much, it's going to, they're going to need even more from Curry. And I don't know if this Warriors offense is built to cover an over like this.
Alex, the Grizzlies and Warriors have played under the total in 20 of their last 27 head-to-head meetings. What do you think?
I absolutely think it goes under. Like you said, it was 214 this past Sunday. And between their 3 matchups this year, it's been an average of 219 points. And like Kenny touched on, both teams are really good defenses right now. The Warriors closed out the regular season ranking 2nd in defensive rating in their final 10, and the Grizzlies ranked 7th in defensive rating this season. And the Grizzlies just got Jaren Jackson Jr. back, who's a strong defensive player. His presence on the defensive end definitely helps them. And we keep touching on it. This is a playoff game. This is a game 7. It might be called play-in, but this is a playoff game 7 for both teams. It's win or go home. And I definitely think it's going to slow down, even though both of these teams like to play up in pace. I think it's going to slow down. It's going to be a defensive battle, and I definitely think it goes under.
Alex, how about a player prop from this game that you're thinking makes sense? Some people eyeing that Draymond Green assists prop.
I was eyeing Draymond too, but the one that stuck out to me was Dylan Brooks at 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists combined. In his last 5, he's averaging 30.8 points, rebounds, and assists combined. And over that time, he's led the Grizzlies with a 30% usage rate, which is a huge upgrade from his average rate for the regular season. And he only got 26 points, rebounds, and assists combined this past Sunday when these two teams met up. But he fouled out with 6 minutes remaining. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think tonight he's going to play nearly 40 minutes like we saw him do just against the Spurs. And when you can combine that type of playing time with his team high usage, I definitely think he beats this number.
All right, Kenny, a player prop from this game that you're liking.
Looking right at Jonas Valanciunas over 19.5 points. You look at the last 5 games, including that Spurs game. Valanciunas hit the over on this point prop 5 out of 6 times. And he's also averaging around 23 points per game in those games. He's just been a monster. And the biggest thing here is the Warriors front court. We've been attacking them all season long. They're really weak. They allow a lot of second chance points. They don't rebound the ball that well. I think that Valanciunas here has a pretty dominant effort in the post, and we see something more like the game that he had against the Warriors in the aforementioned winner takes 8th place game when he had 29 points against them. I think that he's going to be a focal point of this offense once again. I do think that the points come in bunches here. It's also worth noting that his points per game average is at 17 for the season. So it's not like it's that outlandish to see him just going for, kind of normal night with 20 points. I like this over a lot here. He's going to be used a lot.
Finally, let's look at the DFS side of things here, guys. So you can play a showdown contest featuring this matchup, of course. So who are you going to captain in this game, Kenny? Do you have to go with Curry?
No, you don't. You don't at all. I want to get Curry in my lineup, but I'm not spending all that money. I'm going to go with the guy I just mentioned, Jonas Valanciunas. He's $10K in the flex, and in the captain spot, you actually get $2.1 thousand savings off of Steph Curry. Look, he's just been an absolute menace over the last 5 games of the regular season. And again, in that Warriors game, he had 23 rebounds against the Spurs. He had 16 against the Warriors. Both of those games, he went over 23 points. The Warriors are 4th to last in rebounding rate. They are allowing the 4th most second chance points per game, and they also are allowing 44.4% shooting in the paint this season outside the restricted area. So I think that the recipe here is right for Jonas Valanciunas to have a monster game. I would absolutely not be surprised to see him outperform Steph Curry. I know that you have the volume with Curry, but I think that you're going to get at least 15 rebounds and at least 20 points with Jonas Valanciunas. Pretty hard to pass up a guy with a really high floor like this in the captain spot, considering you don't have to pay all the way up for Steph Curry, and then you can get them both in your lineup. So I think that it allows you the flexibility to get more of those guys you want in your lineup if you captain Valanciunas versus Curry. But obviously, I'm not going to fault you for captaining Steph Curry. That's just my I'm going to attack the Golden State Warriors front court. It's worked for me all season long.
Alex, what do you think? Are you going to pay the $17,100 to have Curry in your captain spot?
I think if you're playing one lineup, you should pay up for Steph. I don't think anybody in this game's ceiling even compares to his. This past Sunday, we saw him go for 73 against the same Grizzlies team. He's averaging 56 in his last 10. And over that time, he's at a 41% usage rate. And that's just a godly number. That's like Russell Westbrook in his MVP season in the Thunder, or like James Harden when he was with the Rockets. The ball's in his hands almost nearly half the game. And with so much on the line in this play-in against the Lakers and against the Grizzlies, he's averaging 40 minutes. And barring a blowout, he's going to play that high of a volume. So I think you take Steph if you're making one lineup. But if you're making multiple lineups, I like paying down to Draymond. Draymond's averaging 43 fantasy points in his past 5, and he's always a threat to reach the double-double bonus or the triple-double bonus. And like I keep saying, I think his championship pedigree is going to show up, and he's definitely going to come with less captain ownership from Curry or even Valanciunas. So I think Draymond's the good pay down option.